Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Good evening, everyone. Very good to see all your radiant faces, mashallah. So let's have a moment of silence and we meet in the core, in the quiet heart. Okay, let's open the eyes. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا متكبر، مدد يا رسول الكريم، مدد يا سيدي مولاي أبو السلام ابن مشيش، مدد يا شيخ عبد الله فايز دغستاني، مدد يا شيخ مولانا ناظم عاد الحقاني. دستور. So Mars has entered a new position since the 2nd of April. As we have mentioned in the last meeting, that it has come in the same position as Saturn at the moment. And it is moving closer and closer to Saturn. And they will meet next week. The exact point will be on the 19th of April. So on the 18th, 19th, and 20th of April will be the energy at its height, right? And we are already preparing for this energy. You may feel this already starting to build up the coming week ahead. And as we talk about this configuration and the energies that come with it, they certainly give you an idea about the situation in your life right now that is connected with this configuration. You can hardly miss it. For each of you, it may play out in a different area of your life. For some of you, it is in the career department. For some, in the home or in a marriage. For some, in finances. Or for some of you, it is on personal development, more on a psychological level. It is something that has already appeared in your life, but during this Mars-Saturn meeting, the situation may develop in a certain direction. So Mars had been suffering in the previous position, and we could see it reflected in the global war situation. The chaos in the world, where everything is going in one direction and then going in another direction. Basically, Mars was not stable and very unpredictable. Of course, this created fear and anxiety on a collective level for most of humanity. Now, being in the new position, this is a better place for Mars to be in. Mars, in this position, learns to be compassionate, forgiving, and loving, while still protecting what is important in our lives. So it doesn't let go of this protective energy, but it becomes a little bit softer. So this is good. Mars likes to be in this new position. Therefore, Mars calms down. And here we may find a solution to a long-standing problem that we have at the moment in our lives. But not just like that. Because Mars in this position is about letting something go. It is about releasing the past. This position is about liberation. And liberation means you have to let things go. We get liberated when we let go of the past. The past is blocking us from moving forward. We let that go. But the point here is that Mars meets Saturn. So it is not about easily letting things go. We find it very hard to release, even though we know that it is necessary to release. So this time will be a transition where there will be a karmic closure for a new beginning to start. And this beginning will be bold. It will be strong. This transition becomes a central theme of this time. Saturn continues its agenda through this position, casting the discipline and asking for spiritual maturity. It dissolves illusions if we have them. It just breaks the illusions. It shatters the illusions. And it forces us to take accountability. And it will give the rewards only for the genuine ones. Where Saturn is, shortcuts do not work. You may feel the weight on the matters of finances or comfort, and you may be pushed toward precision and service. As humanity, we get tested in our beliefs and long-term vision. Mars and Saturn together in any position create a dynamic tension between urgency and restraint. Mars wants to act immediately. Saturn insists on patience and structure. Imagine this. You are driving a car. You put the gas and the brake on the same time. Now, Mars is the gas. Saturn is the brake. The result of this is energy that is deep, complex, and sometimes frustrating. You may feel you are being resisted or delayed, but this combination produces remarkable endurance when channeled correctly. On the primitive level, it teaches us to control the fighting power, and this eventually creates courage in the heart. Always ready to protect, but in a controlled, disciplined manner, not in a fiery, rebellious manner. It's very controlled. This combination activates themes around hard work, long-term commitment, and the willingness to put in effort without seeing immediate reward or results. It is the combination of hidden strength. These two planets in themselves are very powerful, and when they combine, they are even more powerful. Mars and Saturn are planets that represent strength, career, movement, stability, and rewards on the long term. Mars is life energy. And Saturn is the structure and foundation. Mars is the blood, the veins, and the muscle. Saturn is the skeleton. Now tell me, which is more important? We cannot take away the fact that when both of them combine, they create a physical build like no other. It is the combination that gives the strength, right? From the perspective of work, first point is that even if the work is slow, it is building stability for you. It may sound very boring, but it is the need of the hour to build things slow. It will give you a stable growth. And even if you have lost your job or you are looking for a job, don't worry. A Mars-Saturn combination is known to reshuffle things, restructure, and reposition the energy. So, if you have lost the job, keep trying. You will get a job very soon, inshallah. Second thing, Mars and Saturn are known to create foundations. Whenever you are building a foundation, it is like building a house. So, first of all, you will have to go down the earth. You will have to go negative, right? When a house gets built, we lay the foundation in the earth. And then you start to build the positive construction above the ground. This is what is exactly happening right now. So you are not being pulled down or backward. Don't worry. You are just being made stronger. The foundation is getting built. The third thing is that whenever we are talking about Mars and Saturn, we are talking about masculine energies. So, Martian masculinity of Mars meets with the maturity of Saturn. And therefore, all your hard work meets with patience. It makes you coexist, and it avoids the fights in many cases. But only if you listen to the mature voice of Saturn. Next, if you are stuck in life, as we said before, Mars here gives the ability to get rid of the problem and find a solution. It can give you a good solution in life, but only if you structure and prioritize your day properly. Mars and Saturn are strategy and planning at their best. This is their purpose in our lives. Now, apart from the work, the most important area of life will be your health. Health is going to be something which is of top priority, especially mental health. Considering what has been going on in the world, it has affected so many people, right? Mars and Saturn here in the position, they represent the subconscious mind. And they represent also a core strength. Therefore, they help you with deep thinking and positive thinking to find the solution also to your mental state and to improve the mental state. So the positive thing of this combination on a mental level is that it will tell you your true strengths, but also your weaknesses. But all that can only happen if your mind is stable and at peace. because only in the still water you can see what is in the bottom. If the water is wavy, if the water is cloudy or dirty, it is impossible to see anything, right? So, very important to keep a calm and clean mind. You just have to accept the weakness that you find and work on it. Don't feel guilty. Look at your weakness, look at your mistakes, and move on. Don't say, I have wasted all my precious moments in life. Or you say, time is lost. No, you can start now. So Mars and Saturn give you an opportunity for this immediate start. There is always a chance to start, irrespective of age, irrespective of the time that you have lost. So start navigating through your thoughts. Observe your thoughts. If you constantly become a witness of your thoughts and don't get influenced by them, you will see a great and rapid change in your life, especially in this time. You may see that you will start getting a lot of ideas in your life. When those ideas come, you may forget. So write it down. Keep a diary, and your positive ideas will come. When you write your thoughts and you write your ideas, you will feel much better. Even the negative thoughts. At first, they might come in the beginning, right? You write them down. Thoughts like, I'm a failure, or I'm worthless. I can do nothing in life. All these demeaning thoughts, they are here in the background, creating noise, right? Yes. If you write them down, you put them on paper, it cannot hide anymore in this background position, because here it is hiding. But when you track your thoughts, you bring them on paper, you fill the whole paper. I am worthless. I am worthless. I am worthless. What happens is that it becomes so strong in your consciousness, instead of here around creating noise, that it cannot hide anymore from you. It is already on paper. And see what it does with all these thoughts. Just pick one thought in a day. Because this thought may be the thought that is filling your mind all day. So fill the paper. When this thought is right in front of you, it can go nowhere anymore. You are now fully aware of it. And in this process, you feel that the energy of the thought is released. So it's about exploring the depth of the clearer water, but in a matter where you can only go if you know the way. The connection of Mars and Saturn will give direction to the energy. It is the life energy of Mars that gets direction from Saturn. But to get this direction, you must leave some things. You must leave some things behind. And maybe you change your level of consciousness to a level that can only be possible if you live a healthy and spiritual life. So the first thing is that you maintain a healthy spiritual lifestyle. In Sufism, we call this lifestyle the Sunnah. Basically, it is the healthy spiritual lifestyle following the example of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we follow the Sunnah, we have everything that we need to live this healthy spiritual lifestyle. And inshallah, you will be able to control the energy, because if you can't, this powerful, potent energy may turn against you. It is very important to be mindful in this time and make the best out of this potent life force, so that we achieve the maximum in a positive way, and that it can flow through you and manifest a better reality for you, for your families, and for your loved ones. When you feel the energies are strong, the best thing to do is to go in prayer. In prayer, we surrender. And we let this potent life force flow in a healthy, channeled way. This is a great secret of the prayer. By focusing your energy or redirecting your energy to the divine supreme being, it helps you to filter out all the thoughts and get rid of any negative thought or emotion that comes into your body and mind. Yeah. The best position for this is prostration, sujood. Because in sujood, you embody the act of surrender. This is the ultimate act of surrender, right? You give it to the Supreme Being. Now, this time is a great time to release this anxiety. If you suffer from anxiety and depression, this is a great time to deal with that, as it gives you everything you need to channel this potent energy. And it will give you also a lot of mental capacity to endure this time. Now, Mercury is also very strongly involved in this mix. So this is a unique mix that the energies are meant to take your intuition to a height and make you to realize very important things and make you to see the pain points, but in a soft and poetic way. It makes it easier to digest. And it will give you some information that makes you to move forward, inshallah. Now, when we experience the testing of Saturn, we may feel that Saturn is cruel, right? Testing of Saturn feel cruel. But in reality, Saturn is not cruel. Saturn is simply uncompromising. If you have been doing the inner work, you will begin to see structural rewards. But if you have been avoiding the responsibility, you find that this time accelerates the consequences. We must understand that the planets are not our enemies. They exist in our energetic system to help us purify the soul. And purifying the soul means looking into the depth of the ocean, being truly honest with ourselves. Because this inner work may show some truth that is bitter, right? It is usually something we don't want to see. This is why we project it out, right? We are either not conscious of it or we are conscious of it, but we deny the truth, which is, of course, worse. Because when we deny the truth, here we are avoiding responsibility and do not take accountability. And Saturn does not like that. We do that because we don't want the truth. It hurts. Of course, it hurts the ego. We say, no, 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 no. This has nothing to do with me. And we see it in the other, right? Because we project it out. And as it is so far from you, it is there, not here. We also dislike it in the other. You feel an aversion to it. And you say, I really don't like this aspect in him or her. Yes. You have to understand, the more you judge it, the clearer it is a projection for 99.99%. Because the fact that you judge it means that it is in you. You don't like it. So you don't want to see it. And therefore you judge it. Because in the beginning, you ordered that you don't like it. So we take back the projection because it all has to do with you. When heavy planets like Saturn and Mars, when they meet, they make us to see hidden truth, these shadow parts in us, hidden in us. And that is why we may feel that the planets are our enemies, or we simply call it fate being against us. The energies of Mars and Saturn here together force you to take the projection back. You acknowledge this point, that it all has to do with you. Here, you accept it. You own this part of yourself. And the moment you own it, you have simply shone the light of consciousness on it. That's all that it needs. It needs your light. The moment you look at it, totally honest, you shine your light on it. You don't deny. You don't suppress. You simply accept. Sometimes truth is truth, and truth is often bitter. But it is this bitter truth that awakens you. Allah says in the Holy Book, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Al-Haqqa, Mal-Haqqa, وما أدراك ما الحاقة. Meaning, the realization or awakening. What is the realization? And what do you know about the realization? This chapter itself is called Al-Haqqa, but the weight of the realization is already in these three very short verses. right? You feel the weight in it. And al-haqqa comes from the same root of al-haq, which in Arabic means the truth. So the awakening and the truth come from the same root. That is a wisdom, right? It is the bitter truth often, because this is the heavy weight of the truth that awakens us. Yeah. When you realize yourself, you accept this bitter truth. This is very tough. It is said that if we know the whole truth all at once, we would instantly die. It is impossible to survive that, the full awakening. It's impossible. We can just not take it all in once. That's why Allah asks us a rhetorical question. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحَاقَّةُ? And what do you know about the realization? Yes. Allah gives us the truth bit by bit through the alignments of the planets. And this Saturn-Mars combination is such a combination where Allah Almighty presents us some of that bitter truth that we need to see at the moment to make the next step in our evolution as humanity. Now, how we deal with it is totally dependent on the attitude. Some will see the truth so clearly and would not like to take responsibility, even though it is very clear. But in this time, that is not a wise thing to do. We see this bitter truth and we accept. We say, لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. Meaning, there is no reality except your reality. All praise to you. Indeed, I was one of the wrongdoers. This prayer is the prayer that you need in this time. Yes. This is the work of the shadow, if they call it nowadays the shadow work. This is what brings you through the shadow work. And this is the famous prayer of Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salam. When he didn't get support from his people, no one wanted to follow him. He got very angry. And he left his people, full anger. And so he said, I will give up on these people, right? And as no one wanted to follow him, he was just fed up with them. And so he went to the ocean and got swallowed by a whale, captured in the belly of the fish. Allah threw him into the depth of the darkness, saying, here, see your own anger, see your own shadow. And Sayyidina Yunus alayhi salam kept on reciting this prayer, لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. He was seeing his shadow. And he was reciting this until finally he got released from the belly of the fish. And what we would call nowadays shadow work, he was doing the shadow work with this prayer. Yes, humbling himself and seeing his own darkness. And being in the belly of the fish is a state of the soul that when you come into it, it is a state of death, right? A full darkness. And going in this state means you go through a certain depression. Depression is a state of death, right? You're not alive. You don't feel alive. So this state of depression is a state of purification. And in this depression happens an awakening. And in Sufism, we call this Maut qabl al-Maut. It is the death before death. Yes, death before death is actually the awakening in this world before your body dies. Yeah, this is what we aim for in Sufism. But as we said, it is a very difficult period because you are thrown in depression. You are in the belly of the fish. Yes, and without proper guidance, you can easily get stuck there and stay in this depression for years. And there's people that are still in the depression, and many have gone there and have not returned. So this depression is a period that belongs to this process. You may also know it as the dark night of the soul. All refer to the same thing, the belly of the fish, batn al-hut. And we surrender to this sacred process in the belly of the fish and trust that we come out of it one step more awakened. Now, as long as we don't look in the shadows, we will be collectively projecting the shadow out, creating our own reality. And the reality from the shadow is always a reality of chaos. It's the opposite of order, right? When we do the inner work, when we purify ourselves, we start to create order in our lives. The word cosmos is a Latin word for order. We said it many times. Living in cosmic harmony creates order. This is when you integrate those shadow parts into your consciousness. Meaning, when you become aware of them and you shine your light, they are no longer your weaknesses, no longer your blind spots or your pain. And this pain was only holding you back in the past. And now they can play along in the dance of life. They now become your engine, the hidden power that was trapped in the shadow. Yeah. And so the planets here are the helpers. They show us the bitter truth. But if we don't look into it, we will keep creating pain and drama. And in any way, we are creating a reality. The divine made us co-creators. The question here is, what are we creating? We want to create a better reality. Not a bitter reality, a better reality. And we are ready now. So, right now, we are on a ship on the ocean together. Saturn and Mars together represent the direction. It's our compass. You will get the direction in your life when you navigate through the ocean, even if you have no idea where you are at the moment. The direction has come. Obviously, that direction may be absolutely opposite to that what you have expected, but that is fine. That is the direction the life is pushing you to. So it is always the best direction. So better to face the movement and realize that you are going in a good pace and a good direction. So the clarity will come and your physical health will also improve, inshallah. but you will have to put the effort. Just follow the guidance and do not resist. Like this, it will help you recover to a healthy life to whatever extent the body can recover. Now, last but not least, the best advice we can give you now is, first of all, do not get into fights or confrontations. Nobody wins a fight when Mars meets Saturn. Impossible. If you think, oh, I will show them, I will beat them, I will do it, you didn't. It's going to come back. It's not finished. So this energy, we may see it reflected in the war situation that is going on. This is a critically difficult moment for that because nobody is going to give an inch. Mars energy gets frustrated because we want to go. But Saturn now puts immovable obstacles on the road to hold this fighting. It's a sacred block. And it wants to block this fighting war energy of Mars that has been troubling the world in the past too much. So, if you are in any situation like that in your personal life, accept that you cannot win this battle. And it is supposed to be like that, dear people, because it teaches us the art of letting go, the art of forgiveness. Otherwise, you go into a fight, and it will be a fight to death with this combination, because you feel all the time these obstructions, and you bump your head against the mountain all the time. Yeah, this is a very negative expression of this combination. And this time, something has to die. It is about releasing, letting go. This is a sign that this obstacle, this obstruction, is not something which you can fight. It is something which you not only let go of, but you rise above. It is time to free yourself from the past, dear people. Don't be afraid of it, because something has to die. It is something that has to go, which is not working in your life. And it is not negative. It's going to be a very positive factor, inshallah. Why? Because it gets rid of the unnecessary in your life. It takes you to a new level. So this combination is very, very useful. So it's time to step beyond a situation which is never going to sort itself. He who admits that the battle cannot be won has already won the war with his own ego. This is our aim this time. Thank you very much for your precious time and your focus. It was very, very impressive and remarkable, mashallah. I pray that this message will be beneficial to you and will bring a positive effect in your lives for you, your family, and your loved ones. اللهم إني عبدك بنت عبدك بنت أماتك ناصيتي بيدك، ماض في حكمك، عدل في قضاؤك. أسألك بكل اسم هو لك، سميت به نفسك أو أنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم غيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا يا أرحم الراحمين، يا أكرم الأكرمين، يا أجود الأجودين، يا ذو الجلال والإكرام. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، والسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين. إلى حضرة نبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ومشايخنا الكرام، سير سورة الفاتحة. آمين. ما شاء الله. Mm, yes. We have a saying that 40 awakened ones, the 40 who realize themselves, they have the power of one saint. And the power of one saint can change the world, right? That is the secret of Jamaat, and supporting each other in this community to make the best out of this testing time now. So there is big hope. And when I see you so focused, there's really great hope, mashallah. So may you be blessed and have a very good evening, and see you next time in good state and in good health, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All the best. Bismillah.